Welcome back. This morning, our spotlight is on a new case that we are tracking for trial here at Court TV. We're calling this one the Officer's Affair murder case for defendant Anthony Shea. So he's accused of killing his wife, Ellie, after claiming that she died by suicide. Now, both of them served with the Orange County Sheriff's Department in Florida. Now, he is currently being held without any bond. Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas spoke to Shea's high-profile defense attorney, Mark O'Mara.
Well, good morning, Julie. This is such a tragic case, not only involving two former Orange County Sheriff's Office deputies, but a husband and wife. Now, of course, the state says Anthony Shea planned to kill and had this whole long-winded plan to kill his wife, Ellie, but the defense says that she killed herself. A gruesome scene in the Shea residence in October of 2024 when this all happened. At the time, Anthony Shea had resigned from the Orange County Sheriff's Office due to an internal investigation into an affair he was having while on duty. His wife Ellie found out about the affair, but Shea's attorney says that doesn't point to motive.
Since we now know that 60% of the people, or more than 50% of the people, end up in some type of marital discord and divorce, okay. Does that mean that 50% plus kill their spouses?
One of the cornerstones of the state's case relies on cell phone evidence, Ellie's last sent texts, and a 54-minute accidental audio recording that the defense says may not hold much weight when this case makes it to trial.
The state is saying there's 54 minutes of silence, and therefore there could have not been a gunshot during that 54 minutes, and therefore it had to be before, therefore it had to be him.
The state has also presented evidence of a voice note Ellie sent a friend 2 months before her death, saying suicide would be an easy way out and that she wanted to be here for her daughters. Shea's defense pushed back on that evidence.
If that's what she did was commit suicide, which is the defense position, then at some point she thought in her own mind that that was a rational thought process. I don't know why she thought that, but it seems as though she did.
Now, Julie, the defense says that this case is built on nothing more than assumptions and circumstantials. Anthony Shea is currently being held without bond, and his trial is scheduled for February of 2026. That's the latest on this case, Julie, thus far. I'll send it back to you.
All right, our thanks to Cody Thomas for that report. Now let's bring in our legal eagles. I've got two high-profile attorneys on the show with me this morning, Mario Gallucci and Tommy Pope. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what attorney Mark O'Mara is saying here in this interview. So he seems not concerned, but he's a very good defense attorney, right? This doesn't seem like this is going to be a slam dunk for anybody. Mario, do me a favor, kind of assess this case on both sides. Tell me what are the things that are jumping out at you that you think are going to be some challenges, please.
So I love Mark. I mean, he's doing a great job. He's getting right out in front of this. I mean, this was just basically an arraignment, and he's already created, a defense. He's getting his side of the story out there immediately, which is something I try to do all the time. The best part about this case is it's a circumstantial case. There's no direct proof. There are some forensics, but the forensics is DNA on the trigger, but you would expect his DNA to be on the trigger. He lives in a house, and he's also a sheriff's officer. The 54-minute accidental recording. I love these accidental recordings. I just had this in a trial I just did that about, the Gregor trial. We had an accidental recording. Most people, I've never had an accidental recording. I don't know many people who have accidental recordings, and the state is relying on this accidental recording to say you don't hear a gunshot. So I believe that Mark will probably try to keep that evidence out from the jury and move forward. I think, and talking about suicide, when somebody talks about suicide, it may mean that they're thinking of it, which is troubling, and that's something that Mark has just put out there also. So far, he's doing a great job of getting ahead of this and putting the story out there.
Mario, great insight. Thank you. Let's play that audio you referenced. So this accidental recording apparently is a big part of the state's case. Again, this is from victim Ellie Shea's phone. They played some of it during her husband, Anthony's bond hearing just last week. Let's take a listen.
From about 40:26 until 41:15 is the defendant inside the room with his deceased wife?
Yes.
And are we hearing the first noise that he makes? Yes, it's now.
I need help. My wife shot. My wife shot. Amy. Help. Yes. Yeah, she's a deputy. I used to be deputy. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. No, Ellie. No.
Okay, Tommy Pope, your thoughts on this recording? How helpful do you think this is going to be to anybody's case?
I was trying to understand, Julie, in the placement of it, if that was him, was he then calling 911? I was doing what Mario's doing, trying to lean into here and understand. If that's what it is, then, suddenly why this long time and now you're going to be excited or now you're going to be upset. But I'll go back to all the things Mario said earlier. I think it's going to be a tough case. Your traditional forensics are perfectly explainable with the, sharing the gun, sharing the household. The suicide talk, I think, it can be in or out of context. I think that's important. When we've had somebody we knew took their lives, we'd always, kind of discuss as a family how that's just not an alternative, but it doesn't mean, I may have said in my life, well, suicide would certainly be easier, but that's not what you're going to do. So again, I think you're going to have it in some context, but I think it's going to be a very difficult case for the prosecution.
Tommy, thank you so much. Sharp analysis there. So, Mario, let me bounce this off of you. The state's contention is that Ellie Shea was shot by her husband, who then took the daughters that the couple shares together to the grocery store. And then they say that's when he came back to the house after the grocery trip and called 911 to supposedly report this as a suicidal death. Does that story make sense to you from a defense perspective, Mario?
So the way the story, from what I understand, is that it was marital discord between the two of them, that they had gone to church the night before. They had come home and had an argument. I believe he's being accused of having some sort of extramarital affair, that the fight was over that, and that in the morning she woke up and she said she needed her space. I believe there were even text messages to that effect, that she needed her space, and that she asked him to take the kids out of the house and go to Publix and give her that time, thus creating the ability, he's out of the house. Now you have the perfect alibi. He wasn't home when this occurred. He was in Publix and he's on video doing this. This is something that Mark is probably going to run with. That's a big piece of evidence for the defense, that he was out of the house, he was shopping. It's consistent with marital discord. It's consistent with her request that she needed her space. And maybe she sent them away needing her space because she knew what she was going to do, unfortunately.
Appreciate it. We'll leave this case here for now. We know that trial is tentatively set for February. So really, when you think about it, this is going to be right around the corner, and we'll report any other big development.